Welcome, my Haze faithfuls, to another episode of Retro Resurrection, the show where I talk about the nostalgia trip of older games. When you think of 90s dancing games, you probably think of this, or this. But what if I told you that there was a game that came around the same time? What if I told you that not only is it a dance rhythm game, but also a dance rhythm fighting game? No, still haven't told you, huh? Well, what if I told you it was a dance rhythm fighting game where each character has a unique dance style, design, and oven mitts for hands? Okay, so maybe that last one doesn't make you excited to see what I'm talking about, but let's give it a shot.
Time to get your groove on and bust a move.
Back in the 90s, the rhythm game genre was barely a blip on people's radar, but when everyone's favorite hip-hop hero Parappa the Rapper hit the scene to amazing success in 1996, sometimes being credited as the first true rhythm game, the popularity of the music game genre boomed. Now, long before Square Enix was churning out 2.5 HD remixes, Squaresoft and Enix were their own beasts doing their own things. Enix, who had previously been spitting out Dragon Quest games, threw their hat in the ring at the height of rhythm game popularity in 1998. Under the name Bust a Move in Japan, this dance fight game offered a unique style of gameplay with a little more freedom than the average rhythm game. Brought to the US on console by 989 Studios, who you might remember from this. The game goes by Bust a Groove in the US. Why? Well, because in the US, Bust a Move was already the name given to what is really Puzzle Bobble, and I don't understand why they call it Bust a Move when nobody's breaking it down anywhere. But okay, and thus, Bust a Groove was born. The story here is minimal and makes like fuck all sense, but the story is this. Everyone has this mysterious dance power from outer space called the Dance Energy Groovetron, and the goal is to become the #1 dancer in the universe. So each character has dancing alien energy that, if the end of the game is anything to go off of, also grants wishes? Okay, I guess. I mean, you're just going around the world bothering people you assume have the power too? Or I guess we're just going around Japan with the power to know who has the alien dance powers to prove who can use the alien dance powers? I guess it was the 90s and it is technically a fighting game, so it doesn't have to make sense. Your objective is to get your polygon person complete with oven mitt hands to bust some hot-ass moves against whoever you come across. You've got 10 characters to choose from, complete with their own dance styles and theme songs, which is the only way to really get any sense of who these characters are. I mean, yeah, you can glean something from their costumes, and there's cool character icon art when you select someone, and I'm digging the graffiti aesthetic, but unless you read the manual, which, to be honest, doesn't exactly help you much, you're free to draw any conclusions you want about the characters. Like right now, I've decided that this guy likes apple pie on the weekends. Is that true? I don't know. It is now, to me. And each character has their own accompanying themed stage, and the greater your dance moves, the more likely it is that something wacky will happen to the background behind you. There's Poster Boy Hotman in an abandoned warehouse where intense dancing makes fire shoot out of barrels and makes glass break. Cotton candy stripper, assassin, fortune teller lady in a mall disco where a pyramid breaks apart. Nyan Neko Sugar Girl's in her studio apartment where she can afford a laser light show and a potential fire hazard but not furniture. And oh, okay. Onesie baby suit woman in a... Oh! Baby fetish room that makes you trip balls and squirts milk. This game really does have everything. What's the rating on this game? E for everyone? I don't think this is for everyone. You and your opponent are given input lines where you have to hit the corresponding directional keys, in any time, followed by the circle or X button on the 4th beat of the measure to continue your combo. You start off with one line, but as you progress you get 2 input lines, the bottom line being the one with advanced inputs, which you should follow because it's pretty much the only way for you to win, and the top one with easier inputs but gives you less points. This will make your character break out their best moves until the chain ends, either by missing the beat or by finishing the combo chain and ending in a freeze, which will make you invulnerable for 2 bars. You also get solos, where you're the main focus and have a chance to one-up your opponent if you know the secret inputs that give you
Some high-scoring moves there.
which are not listed, and you've got to know the input on your own. I have no idea how anybody found these out, to be honest. I mean, it was the 90s, so... By the end of the song, if you can barely see your opponent's oven mitts and the stage is going absolutely bonkers, you'll be treated to a fever time, a solo dance that your character does without your input. It's a nice reward for one-upping your opponent and getting to see the dance moves without having your attention on playing. So, remember when I said that this was a dance rhythm fight game? Well, the fighting part comes in with these two smiley faces you get at the top of the screen. So long as you hit the triangle button on the 4th beat of the measure, your character will do their jammer. Some crazy move like throwing a mountain of candy or an autographed picture of themselves, or yes, shooting you the fuck up to make you break your combo. But these can be blocked with a flip if you hit the square button on the 4th beat when the attack is meant to connect. Flamey-o, Hotman. Flamey-o. You go through 11 stages of different musical genres before confronting the final boss, who I guess houses the final piece of the Groove-tron to allow you to fulfill your true potential? I'm still not really sure what's happening here. And after you bust your fattest moves, you'll be treated to a decently animated FMV of your character of choice having something happen to them. Like 9 times out of 10, these are nonsensical and ambiguous, except for maybe this one, because he's definitely shooting at police and I'm not sure what they're there for in the first place. Completing the game with certain characters will unlock the secret characters in the game, but this means you'll be playing through the same songs over and over and over again, which will get very tedious after maybe about the first time. In addition to the main game, you've got 2-player verses to one-up your friends, practice in case you need some help catching the beat, and a dance view mode where you can choose dance moves, poses, and camera angles to create your own music video, or at the very least, see the moves you probably never get to see following the main route in actual gameplay. But this is only accessible for characters you've beaten the game with, so if you want to see everyone, you'll have to beat this game about 14 times. Is it worth it? Probably not. Alright, let's be honest. These models are pretty solid. They look like real people, they breathe like real people, sorta, and they dance like real people, but the gameplay is repetitive, the physics of the game are questionable, and there's no lag calibration, so good luck trying to figure out how offbeat you need to be on beat. The music is pretty diverse and it makes you want to move, and the game offers the ability to turn the commands off and change the difficulty to test your mettle. And if you're not really into the song lyrics, or if for whatever reason the music skips and it's damn near unplayable like my original PS1 copy, you can just turn the songs on to the instrumental versions, which obviously take up different parts of the disc so they won't skip the same way the original versions would. You can also play around with the sound test and listen to the different songs, sound effects, and announcer sounds.
Take the house down. Hey, you win. Hey.
Or you can just turn the music off and play without it, like a weirdo who plays a rhythm game without music.
Yeah.
It's an original PS1 game that hasn't been re-released since ever, so unless you have a copy of the game or an emulator and a ROM, your options are pretty limited, and this game online can run you a pretty penny, going up to what seems like almost $50 or $60 used for just the disc alone. But if there was ever a game that made you want to run up to a stranger's house because they have space dance energy and challenge them to a dance-off with an invisible crowd, I think this would be it. Well, I guess that's it for this episode of Retro Resurrection. Let me know what you think in the comments below, leave a like if you enjoyed, and share with your friends. And if you want to see more, then subscribe and become a Haze Faithful. And don't forget to click that bell icon so that you can get notified of when I upload, which has a sporadic schedule, so you don't want to miss out of whenever I pop back up. And if you made it this far into the video, thanks so much for watching. I know my upload schedule has been next to non-existent, and the hiatuses in between are long with no explanation, but if you've been here since the beginning, or you became a Haze Faithful recently, I appreciate you wanting to see more and love all the support you give to our little community here. And I thank you for sticking around. Anyway guys, with that being said, thanks for watching. I'm Auroric Haze, and I'll see you next time.